Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, for another edition of WOWSA Live with a special guest from Hong Kong and our host, Ned Denison from Ireland. Take it over, Ned.
Hello, everyone. I'm an epic marathon swimmer, and I'm also the chairman of the International Marathon Swimming Hall of Fame. Our next guest has been heavily involved in elite marathon swimming for a number of years. And I'm going to ask Ronnie to give an introduction of 3 or 4 minutes. Your background in the sport, Ronnie, and your involvement with this technical open water swimming committee, if you would please.
Okay. I am 68 now, and I was a pool swimmer before, and I attended the 1968 Olympic Games in pool swimming, also 1972. So in Hong Kong, we every year we used to have open water swimming, but the distance is not as long as the other countries. We're swimming across the harbor only about 1.5K. So I won that race 3 times before, I think from 1968, 69, and 1970. So 3 years in a row, I won that game. And then I'm now the president of the Hong Kong Amateur Swimming Association. And because my heavily involved, I also a water polo player myself. I was the team captain of Hong Kong in the Asian Games, but of course in the Hong Kong water polo standard it's not that high, so we cannot qualify for Olympic Games. So we only can play in the Asian Games. So I was lucky that in 1992, I was the team manager of the Hong Kong swimming team. I took 8 swimmers there to Barcelona. And then that year, I was nominated by China to become one of the members of the first TOES committee. So from that year on, 1992, and then until now, I'm working on the TOES committee for a long time. So I don't want to count how many years. So I've been witnessing the development of open water. So we've been trying very hard, first of all, our objective is to make the open water to be an Olympic event, because we see that in athletic, marathon running is there. So why not swimming? We have a marathon swimming. So we talked with the bureau, the FINA bureau, and then trying to squeeze our sports into, at that time, other disciplines also, they want to have maybe more events, more places. So I think at that time there were no ladies water polo playing. So it was quite a fight among the different disciplines. So and finally we got accepted in the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing. But prior to that, of course, there are so many different prerequisites we need to meet. For instance, our sports has to be popular and had continental championships for so many years. So, but at that time, before the year 2000, I think actually marathon swimming, particularly the long distance 10K, is actually not popular. I would say very, very few people swimming that kind of distance in Asia. So after talking to China, then we just doing our best to try to, in Asia, do our very best to, put up a series. So Hong Kong and China, we together we run every year starting from 2001, the Marathon Swimming World Cup event. So of course that time the other continents like the Americas, have quite a number of open water events, World Cups, like in Canada, and also we've been to Argentina, to Brazil, to see that, to witness how popular the marathon swimming is. So so at that time, comparing to these continents, I think Asia is quite behind. So I think we've done a lot of effort to try to put things together. So finally, we successful in getting it into the Olympic Games. So, but I see that it's a bit slow, the progress. Now seems the marathon swimming, the World Cup, I don't know, because of popularity, the money involved is not a lot, the prize money, I think comparing to the other big, for instance, tennis or golf, I think I would say it's kind of peanuts. So I think this is something we should try to think about, raise the money, the prize money, and then the popularity, and trying to put the World Cup together with mass participation events, so that to make it, more people know about this. So we're still working on it. Also, we need your advice, and also, particularly Steve. I hope he's been serving on the committee for a period of time, and he knows what's going on. So we're still working on it, hard on it. I think, and particularly these 2 years, for the series, I think it's quite. We need more countries to organize the open water events.
Were you happy with Beijing Games for open water?
Yeah. Beijing, of course, it's only about 7 or 8 years from the first year I joined it. They have, because it's an Olympic Games, they have tried their very best to make it a very good event. They organize it in a rowing course in the countryside of the Beijing city. Of course, they are not experienced enough, but they try their best. Of course, I still remember that tomorrow is the race, and then we are still working at the course until about 1-2 o'clock nighttime, because we're sharing a course with the rowing people. So still, even now, I think a lot of the races, the big races, the games, we share the venue with other people.
Give the viewers some examples of the breadth of the competition. So you've got a 10K Olympics, you've got quite a long swim in Argentina, you've got some smaller swims in the Middle East. Give us your view of the longest, the shortest, the most interesting, the coldest, the warmest.
Okay. I think let's talk about the Olympic first. I think there's so many restrictions we're facing. Olympic Games, the number of swimmers they control very tight. The total number for each sports. So right now we're only about 25 for each gender, and but 10K I think is so far the only distance that we swim. We're hoping to get another 5K because, you know, in places like Asia or maybe in Africa, since the popularity is not that many, so to promote, try to attract people to take part in the marathon swimming, of course you have to start from a shorter distance. So they swim maybe 3K, 5K, and then eventually they go to 10K. So there's a process. So still, I think in Asia and in Africa, we're still doing that. But I see that in the South Africa, somehow they still continue to organize the big events, long distance. I think they just take it as a carnival type. You know, I remember when I was there, they racing down a river, 88 kilometers down the stream. All boats are all over the place, and then they have all the music, just like a big carnival. And then when they get to the finish port, so it's a big party there. So that's why right now we are trying to put together with some mass participation events, so to make it more popular, to make people come to the party and also enjoy the party. At the same time, they know what open water is, and at the same time, the swimmers will become more popular, and they all can be introduced to the media. So I think, but I don't know now. Still, is the main thing is the prize money. How we can raise the prize money to attract more organizers. I think this last 2 years is difficult for us. I don't know why, because of the economy or because of
how many elite swimmers are fully professional in marathon swimming?
I
That's
think
their job.
Every swimmer, I would say, during the World Cups, all right, every number for each gender is around 50 to 70. All right, because they have to pay their own way there, a lot of them. And I think whatever they get, whoever they won the second, third places, the amount of prize money just barely can support their traveling expenses, accommodation, and all that. All right. Then think about those that has not won anything. So if they pay everything out of their own pocket. So that's one of the, I think, main obstacle, to make this event popular.
So in Doha, for example, I think there were 60, 70 swimmers, men, 67 women. So 150 swimmers. And I think what you're probably telling me is the top 10 are covering their costs and maybe earning something, but after that, they're all just paying.
Yes, but after this event get into Olympic is a little better because some of the government, because it's an Olympic event, and they can give more support to the federation, to the athletes to take part.
Give everyone an example of the atmosphere in the big Canadian races. I know Steve has competed up there. I'm sure you've been up there. I've not seen one of the races, but I hear the stories of Lac-Saint-Jean where it's the biggest event in the summer and people are coming from miles and miles and miles to witness this swimming competition, and there's a giant party and there's a parade in town. What does it feel like to go there?
Well, I think it's as you said, it's a very, very big party. I think every not only the swimmers taking part, but the citizens, they you know, those around 4 or 5 days or a week, and they have many different other activities to go on. So the swimming is only one part of it. So almost the whole city is enjoying it and just having a big carnival. So I think they do it very successfully, and a pity that, you know, sometimes the day they organize it only on a certain day of the year. So even if the event crashes with the Olympic, they won't change. So you can see how important they think the race is, the carnival.
And then compare that to the 88-kilometer swim in Argentina down the Parana River. How does that compare? Are there crowds all the way along? Are there special places?
Yes, I see a lot. I was at that time. I was one of the officials on the boat. You know, I stand on the boat for 8-9 hours. You know, but all along, you know, there are a lot of boats. They're not referee boats. They're not rescue boats, but they're just boats from everywhere. You know, people having this all kind of musical instruments. It's just and blowing horns and cheering the swimmers. To them, they just enjoy the atmosphere, and us too. Of course, they will not interrupt with the race, but they just go along, and every village will pass. There another, you know, group of people come out and then cheer up the swimmers and the whole fleet of boats of the organizers for the race.
So in
and
some
at the
strange
end, when we get to the finish, then there are even more, maybe hundreds or even thousands of people. You know, they're having a big party on the beach.
So almost something like the Tour de France, but very different. The crowds all the way along the course.
Yes.
And when you look back, particularly at the Olympics, but some of the World Championships, who were some of your favorite characters? You know, we've got the Dutchman Martijn van der Weyden, who came back from cancer to win a gold medal. We had Natalie Dutoy, who competed at the elite level with one leg. We had the famous Russian Larissa Ilichenko with the fantastic finish, the kick. Who were some of the characters? What were some of the moments that stand out in your mind? You look back and say, you know, I was there. I saw this.
To be frank, in every race I attended, I concentrate on the work, because, you know, if I'm not the technical delegate, if I'm not, then I have other assignment to do. If I referee, then very specific. We're not supposed to, you know, look at other things. Just to, you know, do your work, you know, finish your duty. So, and not as far as I'm concerned, those elite swimmers, of course, they enjoy, they have, but I don't really have a lot of special feeling about them.
And how many officials does it take to run an Olympics? You've got 25 swimmers in the water. How many officials are there? How many timekeepers?
Okay. Normally, we divide into two groups. One is the officiating of the race. The other group is the safety of the race, which is very important. Normally, we have about 25 to 30 different officials. They spread all over depending on the design of the course. Of course, the distance is standardized, 10K. But, you know, like in London, it's 1.66K, but the shape is kind of irregular, so that we need more people and then some places are very shallow. So I think average about 25 to 30 qualified female officials. And then we have a lot of other helpers from the OC, maybe another 20. So quite a number of people. And then lifeguards, safety people, you know, I think another maybe 20. We're talking about maybe 50, 60 people at least in each race.
We interviewed Jordan Wilimowski, and he was talking about the training for the 800 meters and the 1500 meters and the 10K. And it surprises me a little bit. It seems to be more and more common, so it's not just him. But when I look at a comparison to, say, athletics, you wouldn't see a 800-meter racer in a 10K in athletics. But we seem to be doing it in swimming. Do you think this is just something that's going to be standard for years and years, or are we in a transition period?
Well, I think pool swimmers, they're talking about that. I think they are for a 1,500-meter swimmers, okay, or 800. I think their training distance every time, every session, way over 10K, I would say, each session. So I think 10K to them is really not difficult to reach. Unlike the athletic, you know, it's quite two different things.
Okay, so the athlete who's an 800 meters runner is not running 10K in a practice. He's doing some sprints, doing some interval training, doing some starts, but he's not running 10K. But in the pool, they are swimming 3 hours, 2 hours hard, and they are doing 10K.
Yeah, 10K is only, the fast one is only about 2 hours.
Okay.
Right? And of course, when you talk about the longer distance, then it's another story. There's the different way of swimming it, and then also the swimmer, I think, needs a lot more preparation. For instance, the feeding, also their own. You have to get your body prepared for a longer distance.
Okay. So at the World Championship,
muscle, your fats, and all that is just so slow.
So the world distance, World Championship distance for that is 25 kilometers, but in your World Cup series, you've got the 88K in Argentina down a river, you've got 36K Capri Naples. So depending on the location, it can be longer, and some of these swims are taking 8, 9, 10 hours. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, and also depending where you swim, also some on the lower end of the thermometer, 16, 17 degree. And then if you're swimming, maybe the upper end, maybe around 30 degree or 29 degrees, two different things. And maybe different athletes will have a different performance in different temperature.
And when you look back at your time on the technical open water swimming committee, obviously getting the marathon into the Olympics is the huge achievement. What are the other things you look back on with pride in your time?
I would say you talk about open water or swimming or whatever.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
So you're talking about in the open water, right?
Yeah, open water. What is that? What is the committee done in the sport that you look back and you say, you know, we did really good at that?
Oh, I actually, we are still, I would say it takes a long time. It's not easy for us to really promote the open water. I can't think of really, I just try my best to try to promote and try to get and hang on there to try to, you know, keep the ball or all the races going. You know, we try to it's very hard to make the series, in all continents. Even now, we still, and we are seeing that the different the ultra marathon series, I think, is facing some difficulty because less and less people are swimming the ultra marathon because it's not an Olympic event. So I think we have a wish to get more people into the Olympic, or more in each event. We have more can accommodate more athletes, or we have another event, maybe a 5K event into the Olympics. So that's our hope, and we're trying to work there through the FINA and work there through the IOC.
The last question I have for you is about Rio. And Rio was unbelievably exciting at the end, unbelievably exciting. But at the same time, there were a number of disqualifications at the end. And the open water has contact, and swimmers find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. When you look at something like that as a technical open water committee, do you say, oh, fantastic finish, the audience loved it, the world numbers viewing was fantastic? Or do you think we had all of those disqualifications, we need to change the sport?
Well, I think really I think we just follow the rules, right? If the rule is, or the regulations is breached, so then the referee then will make the judgment. So whether the swimmers or their coaches accepts the judgment, I think of course they have their own say. But I would say not at the finish, but I think at the beginning of the race. You remember, I don't know if you know that in Rio, there's a very big pontoon the night before the race. The whole pontoon get blown apart, and a part of them got blown up to the shore. So they have to, I think, overnight to replace it. So this is something about open water. So many things happen, you cannot know. But I can tell you one incident that, the DQ, people for the qualifying race. So we qualify, for instance, in the World Championship, 10 people, 10 for the Tokyo Olympic. But and then but as you know, that we only World Championship is the only chance that you can get 2 swimmers in. So I think a lot of instances, some country they only have 1 swimmer, and then they another swimmer is on the 11 or 12 places. So probably knowing that the chance of success is slim, they still put in some protests. So some appeal cases. So we do this quite a lot before. But it's different people's strategy, but we have to face it.
Well, you and I and Steve all played water polo, and there's one rule in water polo. The referee, he's always right. You never question the referee. And if you question the referee, you're thrown out. So I come from a background of whatever the referee says is right. You just follow it and continue. So when the referee in open water gives the disqualification, that's life for me. They have to do it. They follow the rules.
Well, you can protest. I think there's this. You can, within 30 minutes, you lodge your appeal. I think we do. Look at now with the replay and the slow motion and all that. I think if you really have your strong ground, you might win.
I'm sorry, I'm a water polo player. When the driver is in front of the defender's thrown out. He's in the wrong place. Doesn't matter what you do at that point. Ronnie, I want to thank you very, very much for your time tonight, and we wish you all of the best in the next year in preparing again for the Olympics in Tokyo.
Looking forward to see you, Ned.
Take care.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.